Good morning, year eights. If you are watching this video, it means that I am on a maths course. But I thought I'd take a couple of minutes just to run through the key ideas of this lesson for you, which is, as you can see on your screen, we're looking at perimeter today. In a minute, I'll need you to write down the MLO, but you'll probably be interested to know also that this unit of work has several quizzes, probably about 4. And they'll each contribute 1% per quiz to your grade. And they'll probably be quite useful to you as well because they'll help you to keep track of your learning throughout the course before you get up to the test at the end. Your first quiz is on the topic of unit conversions. It's the work you did yesterday. It'll be short. It'll just be 10 multiple choice questions. You should be able to do it inside 10 minutes. And you should expect it at any time. I'm not going to give you any more warning than that. So make sure you studied up on your unit conversions because you may walk into class tomorrow and have a quick quiz. So just pause the video and copy down the MLO if you haven't already. All right, so perimeter is the distance around the outside of a two-dimensional shape. And the way I like to think about it is that if you could walk around the outside of a shape, perimeter is how far you would walk. Or, if it was a small shape, if you could trace your finger around the outside of it or whatever you might imagine. Our picture here has a little bug walking around the outside. It's really important to be clear what perimeter is because what we see is students tend later on to confuse maybe perimeter with area or maybe even volume. So just be clear you know what it is. If you drew a line around the outside of a shape and measured how long it was in total, that's your perimeter. So obviously it's pretty simple arithmetic. You can work out the perimeter of any shape with straight sides just by adding up the length of the sides. So a quick example for this, you don't need to do this one, just read it on the screen. So if we had this triangle with the side 3 centimeters, 5 and 4, if we were to walk around or trace our finger around the outside of this shape, we'd travel 3 centimeters, we'd travel 5, we'd travel 4, add them all together for the grand total of 12 centimeters. So your turn now. Pause the video and have a go at calculating the perimeter of this shape. All right, now hopefully what you noticed in there is that you cannot add 4 centimeters and 20 millimeters without doing some conversions. Otherwise, your answer will not make sense. So you have to decide whether you want to convert your millimeters to centimeters or maybe your centimeters to millimeters. It doesn't really matter as long as at the end all your units are the same. I've gone for converting our millimeters to centimeters, so then we would simply add up 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, again making our 12 centimeters. All right, so there's a bunch of questions in the textbook. I want you to start at page 404 on question 3, then move on to page 405. I don't know why I'm reading this off the screen. You can do that for yourself. But I will point out to you, one of the questions requires you to know what a rhombus is. You may or may not remember. A rhombus is basically a square which has been squashed. So it's a square which doesn't have right angles in the corners. All the sides are the same length, though. That's the key fact for you here. And you will need to do some unit conversions as you go along. What I'd like you to do actually, this unit conversion picture we have down the bottom here, see if you could draw that out of your own head without looking at the screen, because that's a super handy thing to be able to do. Have a great lesson, and I will see you next week.